All right, it's our Farm to Table report for January 25th on News Radio KKOB, presented by DSR Cattle, and Matt Zorn from Desert Sky Ranch is with us. Matt, thanks for being with us today.
Hey, Brandon, how you going?
I'm doing great, and we're going to talk about plant-based food alternatives. And you've done the research, and are they better?
I think you know where this might be going. So a couple of reports back, Brandon, we talked about cultivated meat, which was, lab-grown meat. And, they said that it was healthy for us, and it turned out that because it was ultra-processed, it wasn't. And they said it was better for the environment, and due to the amount of energy used to produce it, it's not any better for the environment. So I wanted to take a look at plant-based food alternatives because that's kind of a new thing that we've been working on. Now, when I talk about this, I'm not talking about plant-based diets, something like a vegetarian would eat or somebody would consume. I'm talking about plant-based alternatives. Now, what's happening is companies are changing out ingredients like meat or dairy items, and they're using these plant-based alternatives. Now, what got me looking into this was that Kraft introduced a product sometime back called Not Macaroni and Cheese. Now, you can imagine that got my attention. So what they did was they changed out the cheese with a plant-based alternative made of water, coconut oil, modified cornstarch, and chickpea protein. So Kraft has partnered with a company called Notco. Now, Notco uses an artificial intelligence platform it calls Giuseppe to redesign traditional food products with plant-based alternatives. Now, Notco has 3 products that they make: not chicken, not burgers, but not milk. Okay. Now, the question is, and they're not profitable, the question is, what is in the plant-based alternatives? So when we look at Notco's Not Chicken, we see that we're being introduced to ingredients like bamboo fiber, which has to go through an alkaline hydrolysis process and multiple phases of bleaching to become edible. We also see something called soy protein isolate. Now, soy protein is one thing, but soy protein isolate goes through an extraction process that leaves behind residual chemicals and metals like hexane and aluminum. Now, hexane is a neurotoxin, and it's found in gasoline. We also see another ingredient called methyl cellulose. Now, this is a thickener used in various food and cosmetic products, but it's primarily a laxative, and it's not even digestible. So as we go down the list, we see modified cornstarch, seed oils, color additives, chemicals, preservatives. It goes on and on, all ultra-processed products, and we know ultra-processed foods are not healthy for us. Yep. But then I wanted to look at the nutritional information. So when you compare a 3-ounce portion of real chicken versus a 3-ounce portion of Notco's Not Chicken, basically what it boils down to is the Notco Not Chicken is higher in calories, fat, and sodium, and it's lower in protein than real chicken. So just by reading the label, you can see that Not Chicken is not healthier. Yeah. And as we look at many of these new alternatives being introduced, we can see how food is slowly changing from natural plants and animals that we've eaten for the longest time to ultra-processed products. And if they want us to eat these plant-based alternatives, it's going to require large portions of chemicals and preservatives to make them palatable and become something that consumers will even want to buy in the first place. So when they tell us that plant-based alternatives are better for the environment, I don't know. I don't think so, because these products have to go through additional processing that natural plants don't. And when they tell us that plant-based alternatives are healthier, well, I don't think they are either, because they're ultra-processed and they're full of additives and chemicals that we know are not good for us. Yeah. So when they introduce these new products to us, we should probably start looking at these labels, because if you're reading the ingredients and you can't pronounce something or understand what it is, maybe you should consider, not eating it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And that's great info. And, Matt, tell me a little bit about Desert Sky Ranch.
Yeah, thanks, Brandon. So here at Desert Sky Ranch, we specialize in growing Angus beef cattle to order for our customers. And if you want to know where your food's coming from and that it's been raised naturally without the use of drugs or hormones, you really have to work with a local producer to get that. So we invite listeners to learn how our program works, and they can go to dsrcattle.com, or they can call us at 505-864-3900.
All right. Thanks, Matt. This is 96.3 News Radio, KKOB.